Hello and welcome. This video is how to set up for volunteer check-in. Now, check-in can be also for Calvary Kids or any other special event that we have here. So I'm going to go to my.calvary.org/checkin/check-in. Now, when I do that, it's automatically going to bring me to here. Now, you may not have this login required. It might already be logged in for you. But if you do get it just like I did, you're going to put in the name and password are the same. It's check in and check in again. And do not change your password. We don't want to change the password. So just say never. Okay, so it brings you to this first screen. Now, in this case, we have some setup already done. You'll see the background screen. It could be Youth Encounter, it could be just a blank blue one, or it could be Calvary Kids. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down here to Home. I'm going to click on the Home. You may actually have started at this screen too. Now, if we're setting up for an event, it really is important to know if it's a church-wide event, if it's a Calvary Fort Lauderdale, or one of the campuses. In this case, I'm going to be setting up for YE. And so I want to go to church-wide because on the event itself and ministry platform, it does say that it's church-wide. Now, there are some things to know, like for the events. Now I'm going to go into this event. I want to make sure my event is selected. So you'll see here it's selected events and it's Youth Encounter. So I'm going to hit save. Attendant password. Always make sure it's the default. The universal password is always 1234. So I always like to double check it and put it in there. And then last but not least, this use virtual keyboard. Now, if you have a touchscreen computer or a touchscreen cart or an iPad, you want to use the virtual keyboard. That just means that it will show up on the screen next to it. But in my case, I'm using a laptop, so I'm going to have that deselected because I don't want anybody touching my screen. So check-in kiosk. Now from this screen, we're going to go to settings. Settings right here, the theme. Now, right now I have it on YE for 2021. I could change it to Calvary Logo, which you'll see it's just our Calvary logo on the bottom. We also have a Calvary Kids up here at the top. So you can have the Calvary Kids. But for this case, again, since I'm doing YE, I'm going to keep it with the YE. Keyboard again, hide on-screen keyboard because I do want them to use the keypad as opposed to touching the screen. But if I wanted to have the key number pad on there for them to just put in their keypad, but I'm going to hide it for this scenario. Now, this means that they can search by their phone number or by name. I always unselect the ID. Now your printer setting. The printer setting will be default printer settings. Hopefully if you have a check-in cart, you won't need to change this. However, if you are using the wireless printer, you do need to change it. So how to change it with these three buttons over here. I'm going to go here, and so for our wireless printers, the printer name is Keith, PREC 3620. And then or you can change it if there's another printer that you're using. Like I said, the check-in carts already have, if they're directly connected to it, you won't have to change the settings on these. The printer, for the wireless printer, you want to make sure it's a ZD620 and it's the first one, VOL01 for the volunteer printer. Now the campuses have their own wireless printers and you should know what your number is. If not, you can ask the help desk. And then the label set, we're always using Calvary Kids Fort Lauderdale. This show print preview, this is if I wanted them to see what the badge looks like before I print it out, I always have this deselected because that's just an extra step for them. I really don't want to have them show the preview, so that is one less thing they have to click. Now I hit save, brings me back to the settings screen. I don't mess with the URL, but this right here, force unattended mode. I want to select this. And what this does is this doesn't allow somebody to come in here and add somebody to our system or play with any of these settings. It's going to hide this home and settings screen down there. Now I'm going to hit save. Now what you'll see is that that home and settings screen is gone, and now I can enter in my information. And you'll see that I've already checked in, so it doesn't have me, I can't recheck in. But if this was unshaded, I'd be able to click here next to my name and then print, and that's it. Now, if somebody, say if I did check in, maybe my badge didn't print, now I need to override. So there is a way that you can override. Now to get back to that settings, it's going to be in that unattended mode. So to get back to that settings, we're going to put an asterisk right here, and it'll bring up that password. Remember the password was 1234. I hit submit. Now it brings me back to my settings. I'm going to click settings, and this time I'm going to change it to force unattended mode. And now what that does, again, it's leaving this down here, so it's leaving it vulnerable. But now what I do, now when I put in my information, even though I already checked in, you'll see it's now available for me to reprint this. And then I can reprint and keep going. Make sure you do take it off of unattended mode after that, because if not, I'll show you what somebody can do. If they're one digit off and there's nobody there, they can add a family. So this is how you can manually add somebody, but we don't necessarily want to do that unless we know they do not have a record in ministry platform. So that's why we like to take it off unattended mode, so that nobody will add a family and create duplicate records. We want to keep it this way. All right, God bless you guys.